Alright, today we're going to work on Asteroids. This has got a matte finish with the bubble-free vinyl that I always discuss. Basically, I took this out of the booth. The original coating on these panels is very smooth. They almost put like a coating over the MDF or the particle board before they mount. So normally when you pull the old side art, this is still in really good condition. So unless you do repair work, you could literally go right over the way it was. We had some spots that we did have to do some repair work. So I ended up spraying, we did all the underside, the inside, the face, the back has all been painted, and I do a ring perimeter so it just gives me even a better adhesion for the vinyl. Now what I do have to do though is scuff down, because you'll get overspray. There was some spots that we had repair work too and some primer, so you're gonna get overspray. So I use 1,000 grit sandpaper. You could also use even like a scuff pad, a 3M scuff pad, and you're basically just gonna get rid of the overspray that's on there. Once the overspray's off, you clean this with glass cleaner, get the dust off, and here we are at this point. So what we gotta do is rough size it. As you can tell that it's oversized. And we're gonna get it in position. The front and the back here, this gap and this gap should be the same. So we're gonna have to measure that. Right now we're just gonna do a quick rough estimate here. Alright, at this point, I'm going to clamp this. Cut a little bit of this off. We got a lot of excess up here. We know we're not going to need. Now you don't want to cut it right on the line. So I'm going to give myself still quite a bit extra. Okay. Okay, so what we do is I took the back door off so that I can get this clamp around inside. If the door's on, obviously you're not going to be able to do that. On the front there is a lip, so I can grab enough there. This gap here wants to be the same here. And if you look at this, that contour follows right there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to eliminate some of this other excess, just so we're dealing with a little less material. We got plenty of room here, you can see. Another thing you could do if you wanted, this is a wax pencil. You can just kind of like guide, just to give you a rough idea where it is. Or just bend it, you can see it. Either way. Just stay outside of it though, don't cut it. Don't try to cut it on the line here. That's good enough. We can eliminate some of this. Alright. Okay, that shape follows. That's good. I made a line there, I know that's right. I made a line there. I got a line there, and they're made with a wax pencil. At this point, These two clamps are gonna do the job, but I will put a third one on. As soon as I find it, there it is. So I got 3 points of contact. Make sure this is clean, which we already did, but just do it again with your hands. Now you don't have to worry about lining anything up because it's already been lined up without any adhesive side exposed. Now if you try to zoom in really close, you can see the bubble-free vinyl. It has a little tiny crisscross pattern. And basically what that does is allows the air bubbles to channel and escape to the edge. This is stuff I use for vehicle wraps, large prints, because it would be very difficult to do this. You don't need to do this wet when you do it this method. It's just all dry application. I like to cut this, not tear it. For two reasons. One, it don't have to be perfectly straight, but it doesn't want to be like crazy angle, because when you want to pull the other half off, you want to have somewhat a straight line. Also, if you tear this, it's going to tear uneven, and you're going to get all these little particles of paper that are going to get all over the place. So don't tear it. Alright, now we're going to get my squeegee right here. I have the Velcro. Basically, if you go and buy Velcro, this is the soft side of the Velcro. I basically just adhere it to the squeegee, and that prevents from scratching the print itself. I just have this up, a little bit of tension, not much. Just let it relax. And you basically just squeegee as you go. You have to learn to read the vinyl. If you start getting a crease, and I don't really have any pressure, it's just kind of holding it up. I'm not torquing it, I'm not doing anything crazy with this. Another method, if you really wanted to, because of this vinyl, you could literally do this. Just leave that one spot right there. Do a bigger area. And that's one half. Now the reason I don't like gloss to me looks super cheap. Like, it doesn't have the quality look of this matte. Plus it'll show up every single imperfection that you have on that board. So there is no positive things about gloss in my book. The only time I like to use gloss is in a medallion side. Let's say you painted this whole thing red and you had a logo that was just a side art. I don't know, let's say Ghouls and Ghosts or something small, and you painted that side gloss, then sometimes the medallion side size in gloss, it looks fine that way. But full side art, I would never, my personal self, use gloss. But that's just my preference. There's no right or wrong with this stuff, it's just what you want. But I think this looks more professional. Alright, so now we got that half, obviously is established, it's on there. Now we're gonna just roll this back. We can go halfway. I'm holding both sides at once. There's a lot of static right now, so you want to make sure that your environment is within reasonably clean. There's a lot of static building up. Same method, straight down. If you want to see the other way, we can pull this off. I didn't lay it all down, I just let that one spot touch. That's it. Side is on. Now there's two methods. There's two methods of cutting this. You could actually wrap it. If you're going to wrap it and go around, you have to do some steps to that. And we did not do that to this panel. And what you would have to do is sand the very edge of this board extremely well and get it really nice and smooth. And then I would probably recommend priming and painting that edge so that this has a real nice edge to adhere to. And then you would just let it stick down. And then where the T-molding goes in, you would cut right on that center groove. Now the issue with that is, everywhere there's a bend or anywhere there's a corner, you gotta cut relief cuts because that vinyl will get all crunched up. I'm gonna show you an example over here. Even though we're not gonna do it that way, at least you'll see what it would look like. So let's assume that I already had this sanded down, which I don't. If you don't sand it, what you would get is this vinyl, when you put the T-molding on it, it would start clumping up like this. And it wouldn't adhere and it would look like shit. All around the edge, it would be all peeling. So you'd have to keep this very taut and stretch it down. And then we would cut it in the center where the T-molding goes. All right? I'm just gonna show you a little spot because I'm not actually doing it on this process. Then I would be cutting relief cuts like this. Even more. It's already not adhering well because I didn't sand it. So it would be like that, and then I would cut this groove out. Like so. But you see how that's already not sticking? So that's why this edge, which by far is not smooth from factory, has to be completely sanded and flush. Otherwise, it's just not going to stick. So that is not what we're doing in this situation. In this situation, we're going to trim it to the edge. And also, as soon as you stick something down on this, if it's not clean, when you pick it back up, there's all kinds of shit stuck to this already. So now the adhesive is shot. It's done. All right, so let's go to my method. We are going to go, we're gonna press this down as best that we can. We're gonna take our blade, and let me go actually get a new blade. All right, back with a brand new blade. We are gonna have black T-molding. If you notice, I did spray this black, and the reason I did that, some of you guys are gonna get boards that are swollen. They have swelled from being wet. Not to the point that they are destroyed, but nevertheless they are swelled. So when you put a T-molding on there, it's not going to go all the way to the edge because the T-molding is designed to be for factory board that is still 3/4 inches. So now if something swells, that could be like that dig dug I had, that's almost 7/8 wide. So you're gonna wanna paint this edge, whatever this outside color is, So when that T-molding goes on there, you don't see raw wood because that would look like crap. Alright, so basically, and another thing, you want to make sure that you have a nice line. We did body work on here, so this edge is pretty defined. If this was all chewed up, it's going to make this job, this part, much harder. Gonna get it started. And we're just gonna trim it. Let the blade follow it. Like so. And we're gonna do that all the way around. Now like I said, I painted the edge of this so that this vinyl, when it gets to that edge, has something nice to adhere to. If that was just raw wood there, it's not as good. Gotta have a sharp blade. If that blade isn't sharp, that thing's gonna be, you're gonna get a chattery line. And if this edge is all swelled up and all beat up, it's gonna look like crap. And if you had gloss, it's not gonna look like crap, it's gonna look like shit. Because it's gonna show every single imperfection amplified by 100 times. Alright, so this is it. On, all one piece, nice and matte. I think it looks really good. Like I said, it would not look as good in gloss. In my opinion, indoors everything is reflecting lights, so a matte finish looks really nice. I was considering, which I could do, and you guys let me know if you think this would be a help or not. It is possible for me to make these contour cut already. If I were to do that, what I would do is I would actually make it about a 1/16 of an inch shorter all the way around. So you would have to have zero trimming and nothing to line up because it's already established. So that would resolve two issues for the typical person being overwhelmed with trying to line this thing up. What you would have to do though is you would definitely be committed to painting the edge, because there would be a little bit of that board exposed, and when you pull the old art off, it's just raw MDF, or not even MDF, this is particle board. So you're committed to painting at least a perimeter, a minimum of an inch. But when you spray it, it's soft. See, because if you did it with a brush, you'd have all that brush strokes everywhere that you did that. So it wouldn't be as good, but depends how fanatical you want to be about the finish. But minimum, paint the black, paint the edge, call it a day. I recommend painting the edge no matter what, just for the fact of T-molding not seeing any risk of wood color. That's gonna do it, guys. That is side art of Asteroids. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this helps you guys out on installing some of these big panels like this. It's really not that difficult. You just got to take your time, lay it on its side, helps. And with this material, it's pretty easy to do. Thanks for watching. Until next time.